It's going.
There we go. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Good evening. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm going to turn this light on too.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Sorry about that. So I mentioned Ecclesiastes is a really awesome book of the Bible. Lots of great teaching. A lot of people just think it's a bunch of gloom and doom. But there's a purpose in all that, especially once you get to the very last couple of verses. What we're looking at this evening is from chapter 3. Verse 13 says, "It is also the gift of God whenever anyone eats, drinks, and enjoys his efforts." And then later in the passage it says, "God works so that people will be in awe of Him." Whenever we eat or drink and able to really enjoy this, and I know you do too, you really enjoy a good meal, even just a good cup of coffee, or maybe some iced tea or the best lemonade. It could just light up your whole countenance. So this evening, when I was looking at if anyone eats, drinks, and enjoys all of his efforts, a lot of times when someone is cooking, and you may have heard this from cooks before, they may not eat all of the meal, but they get a lot of joy and satisfaction when everybody around the table is they're quiet because they're really enjoying a meal, and then they just can't talk. They just keep talking about the meal. Oh, that was just so good. So a lot of times, whenever someone is cooking or hosting, they get a lot of joy out of that, and I enjoy cooking, but I also enjoy eating it too. And I also enjoy the fact that since God is the creator of everything, I am in awe that He said, hey, it's okay to have dominion over the animals, so much so that He showed us how, and He gave us the ability to grind up beef into ground patties. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and start my my skillet. I'm going to do this on an iron skillet. To me, sometimes, everything tastes better on an iron skillet. I don't have a really big one I can put 4 hamburgers in at a time, but I do have this one, and it'll cook at least 2. You can use just salt and pepper, or you can use this just a fajita seasoning. You can put as much as you like. This is going to wind up being about a tablespoon. And because we're going to cook it in the skillet, I'm going to mash this up with my hands. I'm going to get a plate to put those, I'll put them here. So I'm going to make sure this, and the leaner your ground beef, the meatier, of course, it's going to take, but you need some of the fat in there to make it extra delicious and juicy. So once you have this mixed, because you don't want to bite into just nothing but spices, so make sure it's good. And what I'm going to do is, because we want to make them to fit the buns that we have, if you just make a ball and flatten them, then that's going to be like a really thick, small burger. So what I like to do is I keep patting them and get them as flat as I can. And that one is ready. You notice it may seem like it's really big, but the bun is about this big, and once it's cooked, it's going to fit right in there. I'm going to put that one in the skillet, start on another one. These are, okay, this is kind of, it's kid friendly as long as your kids know don't lick your fingers. It may smell wonderful because you just like the fajita seasoning, but they may like making hamburger patties. What I would suggest with if kids are going to be helping do this is to make sliders. That way it's more like playing with Play-Doh, and they can make a smaller one, and they can smash it like this, because when you put it in the skillet, you'll be able to mash the middle a little bit further and make it like even across it. Okay? So while those are cooking, I'm gonna make one more, just to put on the plate.
Oh.
All right, I'm gonna put that one there. Wash my hands, because there's some other things that while your hamburgers are cooking, you may think there's probably a few other things that you want with your burger. Other than just onions and pickles and things like that, we're gonna have some different things. So while those are cooking, I'm gonna want to have some chips. I'm not gonna eat my chips, but I'm gonna stack them. And if I'm making nachos, I'm gonna spread some. I'll spread some out. Okay, I forgot the cheese. We like using extra sharp cheddar. One of the things that you'll want to do, you may or may not do this. You may do this. I don't know. But I have small white beans. You can use white beans or black beans, pinto beans. But what I'm going to do is I just want the beans. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm pouring them in here with I have warm water that's going to loosen up the gravy that they're packed with, and it's really not gravy. It's just the juice with and it's really good. Okay, so that's probably going to be enough beans. One of the seasonings that Susan picked up at the store that I really like is cilantro and lime. It's really good. And to make that stick, I'm going to do a light across it with coconut oil so that this will stick. Okay, and this is on the bottom. I don't want to put like a crazy amount because they do have a little bit of salt. Okay, put some beans, a few of the beans. Use my other hand that's not wet. Grab the chips. Uh-oh. See, I already used because I meant to put cheese on that layer. I'm going to put my oven on about 350 or so because I know that it'll take just a little while for those to cook. A little bit of light. The reason I'm putting the oil on there is to make sure that the cilantro sticks to the chips. One more coat. Let's put some more chips. More chips. More cilantro and lime. A little bit more cheese. And because I like jalapenos, but I really didn't want to use jalapenos, I'd rather use my own pepper sauce. I put these up few years ago, and I put them up with onions. So I'm going to put these over here on my side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there's plenty of juice in there for when if I have collards or turnip greens. Those are going in there. Now I'm going to flip these. Yeah, you can't smell that, but if I scratched on the screen, we could do a scratch and sniff, and it's going to be delicious. Promise. So, I have that in the oven. I have my burgers cooking. I'm thinking, okay, well, what do I want to cook next, or what am I going to put on there? Well, it just so happens we don't want to just have ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise. What we're going to do with these, we can melt cheese on top of them once they're done, and they're just there waiting on us to gather everybody up. We know that we're just looking around, picking up things, making sure that we're ready to start cleaning up. Since I have oil here, I'm thinking this should probably have an egg on it. So I'm going to crank this up. This is actually coconut oil, and the reason I'm using coconut oil is because that way it won't matter if I just pour a bunch of the oil onto the hamburger and then onto the bun, because coconut oil is good for you. At least for all we know, it's good for you. These are cooking down real good. So if you don't like fresh onions on your hamburger, then what you do is you just grab some onions that you've sliced, and we'll put. Man, I want some of these on my burger. So I'm not going to saute all of them, but I'm going to saute some, and we're going to get those nice and wonderful. I'm going to put a little bit of fajita seasoning on these, so that when they come out, they can go right on top of the burger, and they're going to be delicious. Yeah, the burgers are like getting done pretty quick. I'll move these around so these can go over there. Ecclesiastes also says, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. So if you're in the kitchen and you're cooking, you do it to the best of your ability. You do it with all your might. And then that way, it's going to taste even better. Oh yeah, this is looking really good. You see the onions? It won't be long until they start getting clear, kind of like the edges of these. They're going to be delicious. And while we're here, to be such a creative God and knowing that down the road people are going to be cooking over an open fire the animals that He created us to enjoy and admire, and I just can't imagine. One of the other things, it wouldn't be a hamburger without ham. So, wow, wouldn't you know? We gotta have ham in the form of bacon. So my hamburger is getting done. It's finishing up. So what I'm gonna do, because that's my oil is almost ready. So what I'm going to do is, because I know that I'm going to stack this, and if you watch me, my house, my rules, I do put my hand in the cheese, unless we have guests, and then I put it in a bowl, and we'll use a fresh pack of cheese. The reason I'm putting the cheese on the bottom is because I'm going to stack some other things, but I want the meat to melt the cheese. So I'll get, oh yeah. So I'll get one of these pieces of meat. Put that there. You know what would be really good on this is probably some pimento and cheese, because that's just got to be delicious. So I'm gonna get some pimento and cheese. I'm gonna put this on here, and maybe some bacon. And you know, if you have lettuce and tomatoes, that would probably go excellent on this one too. I think what I'm going to do is put this on top of the meat so it'll steam a little. Well, I'm going to put it on the onions so it'll steam that bun just a little bit, and then I'm going to put some of the onions on there. While I'm waiting for that oil, I'm going to put another one. Move that over. So I'm going to put another piece of meat here. All right. You can see that? All right. So onions. I'll put some onions here. Oop. Well, I'm going to need this pan. All right, so I have this pan that's ready to go. Turn that one off. Okay, the only other thing that this one needs is a fried egg. So here we go. We're going to put a fried egg on this one. And I'm going to put some fajita seasoning on top of that. Wow. Look at that. We'll flip it over, and in just a second, that's going to be perfect. You could probably, once you flip it over, count to 20 or 30 depending on how you like your eggs, and then it's going to be ready to go. While that finishes, I turn that off. I got it. You know, I have bacon. Why waste it? Let's put the bacon on here. We have an egg. Oh my goodness. And just because you can. Now, see, that's going to seep down on the bottom of the pan, and it's going to be in the bun that's on the bottom, and that's going to be delicious. So, woo, that's hot. That one's good. I wonder what the chips. Oh yeah. So the chips. I have some chips that's ready now, and this is why you need. This is why you need a plate with sides. Use a pie pan, y'all. It's okay. You're at home. You can enjoy it. And, well, hey, let's see what this, let's just see what we're looking at here. This is, okay, this is with the pimento. Oh, man. Yeah, that's excellent. Now, what about the fried egg?
Oh man.
Oh wow. A fried egg, and you know, I know there's a pepper around here somewhere. Maybe I'll stick this in here so I'll have a bite of pepper.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. There's no reason to cry about it, but y'all, when Scripture says do this, and God gives you all this so that you can be in awe of Him, to know that I can be in awe of a God that the banquet table in heaven is going to be so much better than this, and this is delicious. Make some pimento and cheese. Go get you some ground beef. Make a hamburger. Put you some pimento and cheese, some bacon, some homemade peppers. Make you some nachos and fry an egg. Wow. I'm going to have a great evening, and I hope y'all do too. God bless you. Have a great night. Oh.